It's been said that strangers will support you more than the people who've known you your whole life. And I've witnessed it, and a lot of us have seen it firsthand. People have their opinions about you, they tell you they love you, they say that they care, and all of this may be true. But when it comes down to showing support, even support that doesn't cost money, for a person to share your uh, content with their audience because we all don't have the same friends. You know, a lot of times we can see the mutual friends that we have between each other, but we all don't have the same amount of friends, or we all don't have the same friends. So when someone shares your post, the people that you're not friends with have access to see your content. That's a little small thing that people can do to show that they support you. It helps when people can pay for your products and services, and they support in that way. It helps when people give you good advice and point you in the right direction to accomplish your goals. It's something to me that I've heard. A knock on myself is, people don't think that I want to work. I've had friends that have said that they don't believe that I want to work. My own mom, she gets on me and she doesn't believe that I want to work. And I have no problem with working. My thing is, I just want to get fair compensation for my time. And I prefer to be in control of the compensation that I receive for my time. Um, that's just me. Other people, have no problems with it. We all have bills to pay, and the bills don't care how they get paid. They just know that they gotta. You just know that you gotta pay them. You know, life is kind of funny though. You know, I've got a 13-year-old son. I haven't seen him in several years. Me and his mom we were never together, but our uh, relationship is in a terrible place. We can't really get along. We don't speak, and since we've been through the system, uh, we've kind of been at odds. We were cool before that. I mean, something happened, and I tried to keep my son. She had temporarily had lost custody, and I had got custody, and I was doing a great job with my son. I'm going to PTA meetings. I'm favored amongst the teachers and the parents. But ultimately, a judge told me I had to return my son to Florida. And since then, I told my son what was going to happen, and everything came to fruition. But now, with him being away from me so long and him um, being with his mother, he's formed his own opinions, and I don't think they're the right opinions. He has some resentment towards me, and it's a tough spot to be in, because the system doesn't care about fathers. The system empowers women and gives them all the power, and for a man, it's a hard thing to be involved in a child's life. You have to spend money to go through the court system, to go through family court, to get your rights established if they're not being established beforehand. And if you have a person that you're dealing with that is not um, cooperating, because I would like to get my son every summer, but when the summer rolls around, if I ask his mom, "Can I get him?" she'll tell me no. And the system only cares about child support, and there needs to be some kind of reform on child support, but nobody talks about that. I mean, I don't have. It's not that I have something against uh, paying child support. I just believe that it drops the ball and helps to have fathers removed from their children's lives. It empowers women to the point where, if they so choose, they can keep a child away from their paternal father. And that's a bad thing because kids need both parents whenever they can have both parents. A lot of kids don't have that opportunity, but if they do, I believe that it's in the child's best interest to be able to spend time with both parents, especially if the father really wants to be involved, like myself. You know, um, Many nights I've cried myself to sleep. Broad daylight, just break down into tears because I really want to be in my son's life. I want him to be in my life. I don't know who my father is. Never did. All I know is a name. But so me knowing my son, him knowing who I am, and me telling him I love him is one thing, but me spending time with him and doing things together and building that bond is something that I'm missing out on. And I can't go back in time and get that time back. And it sucks and it hurts. And nobody cares, it seems like, except for my family. I mean, we'd like to be involved in my son's life, but he's being kept away. And the system made it like that. So it's a very tough situation, and I don't wish it on any person to have to go through this. I heard the horror stories, when I was younger about baby mama drama and all this stuff, and I never thought that it would be me. And I guess things turn around, and things could happen, and I found myself in that situation. I was never with my son's mom. It was just a physical relationship. A couple different times that we got together, but we never uh, went to lunch. We never went to a movie. We never went on an official date. I mean, these are not good things. I'm not necessarily proud of that, but that's just the way it happened. I never had, any intentions of being with her in that way, but we did lay together. So the things that I'm dealing with, I am responsible for, and I do take accountability for that. But I want to be involved in my son's life. I want him to be able to spend time with me. I want to help him, prepare him to be a man. I didn't have that growing up from my father, but I had father by committee. My great uncle was like a father to me, but he passed away in, I believe, 1998. My mom was married once, and her ex-husband was like a father figure to me. My uncle, my uncle Phil, he has been like a father figure to me. So I had father by committee, and I turned out okay. You know, I was raised the right way. For the most part, I've stayed out of mischief, but I've done some messed up stuff too, and gotten in a little trouble here and there. But I that's all part of growing up and maturing and whatnot. My thing is, um, we really got to take a look at what's going on here. We got so much violence in this world, and especially in the United States. Um, I don't know how we fix the problem, but I know the good start would be to make it so the fathers can be involved in the child's life, especially the ones that want to be involved. I mean, I can't stress enough how painful it is to want to see your child and not be able to do that, to want to spend time with your child and not be able to do that. And we live in two different states. I live in Ohio and my son lives in Florida. But I have family in Florida. I grew up in Florida. I was born in Ohio, grew up in Florida. My mother, my brother, got aunties, uncles, cousins. My uncle, I got cousins down there. So I got a good family support network, a lot of good family and friends. And, you know, time is not on my side. My son is 13, he'll be 14 in February. And you know, it's been several years since we've seen each other. The phone conversations are difficult because he lashes out and he gets disrespectful, and he only does that because I'm not around. He wouldn't do that in my face. He just does it because he's hurting, and I can't help heal that hurt from a long distance. But I know there are a lot of fathers going through a similar situation. I've heard the stories. I know there are probably some support groups in place to try to help these fathers and ease some of that pain that we feel. But my thing is this. I talked to the child support people, and they told me that their only concern is getting money. They don't care if I see my son or not. They don't care if I'm involved in his life. They there's no group that supports fathers except for maybe a group created by a father to help fathers. I mean, but the government doesn't have a group that makes sure that fathers can be involved, and that sucks. Like I said, there's many nights where I've cried myself to sleep. Many a times in the middle of the day where I've just broke down and cried when I'm alone, and I feel that hurt. And I love my son dearly, and he can't feel that love. I mean, he doesn't see me around. He barely talks to me. Sometimes on the phone every now and then. He'll send text messages, but when he texts me, he wants to get in contact with my mother most of the time, and she lives in Florida. But he's not allowed to see my mother for the most part, like because his mom just doesn't allow it. And grandparents don't have rights in the state of Florida, so my mom can't get anything enforced in that way. The thing that I have to do is I have to take her to family court and get my rights established, and then from there go about that. But see, when I take her to family court, I become a target. They come after me. They're going to mention child support, and they're going to say that I'm behind on child support, and that's one thing. But then they're going to say, how can I afford an attorney to get my rights established as a parent when I owe back child support? You know, I got into a situation where a police officer had called my house because a situation happened between family where, you know, my son's mom called my mom and cussed her out. Cussed her out. I mean, just ruthless. And she cussed my mom out because I had got my son a green green light card. Is that what it's called? It's a card for kids where you can put money on it for him. And I just thought it would be a good idea for him to have his own money. And I was in a position at the time where I could, put money on the card and let it build up and let him get the things that he needs, or he wants. And that card, he had that card, and he would let the money sit there, and he would get little stuff. He liked peanut butter and jelly, and little stuff from the dollar store or whatnot. But he wasn't, buying shoes and clothes and all that kind of stuff with the money. And but I just thought it was a good idea. I was paying my child support, every week at that time, and I just thought to give him some money on the side and make sure it goes directly into his pocket. Well, a police officer told me that a judge looks at that like I'm trying to get out of paying child support, trying to get around the system because I owe back child support. I can't give him anything. And the argument between my son's mom and my mom was about uh, she used the card I got him to pay her cable bill or internet bill or something. And I called down there and I told my mom, I said, hey, I didn't give him money to pay her bills. Like, I got to pay child support, whatever. But that's his money. That's the purpose. That's the reason I'm giving him money is for him. So she paid one of her bills with his money, and I told my mom just next time you see him, just tell him don't do that. And she did that, and he went and told his mom that my mom said don't do that. She called my mom up, cussed her out. Made my mom cry. And my mom didn't tell me. She told my cousin. I have a cousin that lives in Georgia. And she told my cousin that, she called my cousin. She said, "How do you block a number? So, cause I don't want to get any calls from this number." And my cousin was like, "Why?" And my mom told her the situation. And my cousin, she was like, "Okay, well, what's the number?" My mom gave her the number, and my cousin talked her through how to block it. But my cousin turned around and called my son's mom, laid her out, and said, "Don't play with my auntie like that. It can get real." And you know, after they got off the phone, my son's mom called the police. You know, the police tried to call my cousin. Police called me, told me that you can't make threats and all this, and this is stuff I didn't have any knowledge of. And then I talked to my cousin. She told me what she did. She was just trying to look out for my mom. I don't blame her for anything, but it's just a terrible situation that my mom gets cussed out, and my mom, she barely ever cussed. Like, what I'm saying, that's one thing about my mom. She's just not like that. I mean, she cusses every blue moon, but it's not like me and my brother. Me and my brother cuss a lot, and we didn't get it from her. We got it from ourselves. That's just how we turned out. But she cussed my mom out, and that pissed me off. I mean, I wanted to go down there and beat her ass, but I know that that's the wrong, and I know that's something that she would probably prefer, so she can get a restraining order on me, or something like that, where um, she can eliminate me from my son's life, because she really has a disdain for me, and I don't know why. Because we never had a problem before we went through the system. When the government, the state of Florida, took her kids away, you know, came down to be with my son. My mom kept my son, you know, until I could finish my semester of school, and then I finished and I went down and spent the summer in Florida, and then I brought my son to Ohio, and we were doing fantastic. But the judge made it her business to make sure that my son's mom got him back. She said the state promised that they would give him back when she completed parenting and anger management classes and stuff, because she had lost custody due to uh, child abuse or neglect. She pleaded guilty or no contest to that. I mean, that's a fact. I'm not slandering her name or anything. I mean, that's public record. So, um, my son had marks on his body. He had ringworms in his head. He was extra skinny. He was not doing very well. And then we got him up to snuff, put weight on him, got his hair together. He had patches in his hair. He had his hair coming in right. He wasn't missing meals. You know, and the judge said she completed her courses, and made me give him back. Gave me an ultimatum. Said if I don't get him back within a short amount of time, that I would have two contempts, and that they would come up here and put me in jail, and they would take him anyway. So I had to take him back, and I haven't seen him since. We've been talking, but and texting every now and then, but I haven't seen him since. I haven't been back to Florida, but I do love my son. It's crazy that the system has put me in this position. I put myself in this position by sleeping with a woman unprotected, but the system has not helped me out in any kind of way. When I had him and I was doing well with him, I should have been able to keep him, but I don't have any. There's no child abuse and neglect in my record, so, but it's in hers, and but she got him back, and she had another child at the time, and they had split up their kids. I believe her mom got her daughter. Her daughter's older than my son. Her mom got her daughter, and my mom got my son until I finished the semester, and then I went down and got my son, and she's had another child, so now she has three kids. And you would think that she wants a break sometime, but she won't let me get my son. She'll just talk about how she got this all on herself or whatnot. And but people tell me that my son, they'll see him out, and he's looking homely, not clean, hair not brushed or combed, or just not looking up to my standard. Like I would teach him how to keep his hygiene up and be presentable, but that's not a big factor in the household that he's in. And I mean, I'm not against him being with his mom. If I could get him to have full custody, I would love that. I would prefer that. But I'm not against him being with his mom. I just want to spend time with him. Can I get him every summer? Can we alternate holidays? And the thing is, I got to spend thousands of dollars to get this established, which I don't even have the money, and that's why they'll target me in court. They'll say, "Well, you owe this back child support. How can you afford an attorney?" And then I got to explain all that, and it's hard on the father. I just feel like we really need to do some common sense reform on child support. And if a person is paying child support, they need to be have some rights established. If they want them. If they don't want to take advantage of it, then that's their prerogative. I'm happen to be a father that wants to be involved. If you're a father and don't want to be involved and you pay your child support faithfully and you're happy with that, that's cool too, because that's your business and that's going to be your relationship with your child. But I don't want my son to grow up and hate me because I wasn't there and I want to be there, you know, and the system ain't helping me be there, and his mom ain't helping me to be there. She's preventing me from spending time with him. She's limiting access to him, to the family that I do have that live in the same city. My mom barely sees him, and he only really hollers at my mom when he wants something. So, I mean, it's a messed up situation. And my brother had to deal with this same thing. His son is 19 or 20 years old, my nephew, and my nephew resents his dad because his mom, you know, he grew up with my dad not around, without my brother around, but he grew up with my brother around until him and his mom split up, and then they were at odds, and then women get in a child's ear and they form these opinions, and a man really can't do anything. He's at mercy uh, for however the child grows up. So my nephew resents my brother to an extent, because of the situation he went through. My son resents me to an extent because of what we're going through. And I have a limited amount of time. My son is 13. He'll be 18 before you know it. And I can't get the time back, but I want to move forward and I want to be involved. I don't know what to do because it's just a really messed up situation, you know. But yeah, I know a lot of men are going through this. So if you've been through this, if you've gone through this, uh, tap in the comments, man. I feel your pain, man. I've cried many nights, man. Real tears, bawling, man. You know, eyes hurting from crying so bad. Like, you know what I'm saying? Eyes red, like I've been smoking the best weed. So I've been crying so bad. And the thing is, it don't get nothing done. After I finish crying, she not gonna let me see my son. You know, so I just want to hear what other fathers are out there are thinking, what's going on. I mean, if you're caught up on your child support, kudos to you. I got behind, but my intention is to pay it all, get it paid up, and I want to be involved in my son's life. I just really want to be there. I don't want him to grow up and hate me, which he's already on that road. And I'm not a bad person. I really do love him, and I really want to be there, and I'm being deprived of that. And it is a woe is me moment. It feels like that all the time because I mean, what else can I do besides throw a pity party? I can get off my ass and try and make some moves and get some money together, and take her to court and get that back child support paid. But besides that, those are the only choices that I have. Like, because she's not just gonna wake up overnight and have a change of heart. Something catastrophic would have to happen to her for me to be involved in my son's life. And I don't wish any ill will on her or anything like that. But I'm just saying, at the rate we're going, she's just not gonna volunteer for me to spend time with my son. He would have to do something tremendously bad to prove that she can't handle him around or something like that. And then when he gets that far gone, why would I want him to be up under me, when he's that disrespectful? But this is what's being created, with the help of the system dropping the ball. Nobody's talking about any kind of child support reform or any kind of reform for, getting some parents together and coexisting, co-parenting. You know, it hurts. It's a tough situation. I wouldn't wish it on anybody. But this is your boy Trail. I've had my rant for now. I'll probably talk about this some more. I just want to hear from some other fathers. If you're out there, say something to me, man. I'm really messed up right now. I've been messed up for a long time. I don't know what else to do. Making this video, maybe a father might, see it. Maybe somebody who's going through something will see it. Maybe a mother who's will see it, and mothers comment. Say something to me. People who have kids, say something to me. I need some feedback. I just want to talk to the people. I'm going through it, man. I love my son dearly. And I want to be involved, and unfortunately, at this time, it's very hard. So, you know, drop some comments. Like this video, share it with your peoples. Subscribe to my channel. Give me some feedback. That's the most important thing. I just really want to know the temperature out there. It's your boy Trail. One love.